Welcome back, beautiful New York tri-state area and beyond. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to the Bosque Ranch Live speaker series brought to you by Bosque Ranch. Today, we're stepping into a conversation that feels bigger than land, bigger than branding, and honestly, bigger than what most people think is even happening right now. Across the US, we're watching a quiet but powerful shift where land is no longer just owned, it's experienced. According to recent 2026 market data, rural land interest and lifestyle property searches have surged over 20% year over year, driven by a new generation seeking space, legacy, and something far more immersive than city living. And at the center of that shift, well, storytelling. So when you take a property like Bosque Ranch, founded by visionary storyteller Taylor Sheridan, and pair it with a platform like land.com, you're no longer just marketing land. You're building a cultural blueprint. Joining me right now is Matt Rand, Director of Marketing at land.com, which is a platform that's quietly becoming one of the most influential forces in how land is discovered, positioned, and experienced across the country. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So excited to have you on. So, I want to talk about exactly that, the shift from land to lifestyle. Matt, from your vantage point at land.com, where you sit, you're
Mhm.
seeing a national shift in how people view land. I mean, not just as an asset, but as an experience, a legacy, if you will, even a form of identity for many. So, walk us into that evolution. What's driving this change right now? And why are we seeing land become such an emotional and lifestyle driven purchase this year?
Well, we can actually go back to the pandemic. That really shifted how people thought about where they wanted to work. Because once you weren't allowed to go into the office, but you still had to make a living and like go to the office, quote unquote. People were seeing that they could do it anywhere. So it's like, why not get out of the city? I worked with vendors who spent a long time in New York and now have a townhouse in Bozeman. So you just got to see like that's a major cultural shift. And at the same time, people were like, I kind of want to get out of here. Space was freaking people out. They wanted to have a little bit more space, but then you saw the romance in it after you got past a little bit of panic. And so the romance of owning something, I think you're in a very quick to buy disposable culture, and I think it wears on people, and we're seeing that more and more in the way that the market reacts. People want to own something tangible, create something, and be connected to something.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
powerful. And Matt, what you're describing, what you're really describing is a redefinition of ownership, right?
100%.
It's no longer transactional. It's transformational, and that opens the door for something much bigger than real estate. So let's chat about why Bosque Ranch stands out. When you look at Bosque Ranch through the lens of land.com,
Yeah.
what makes it stand out as more than just land? I mean, and
Yeah.
more as what we're talking about, a fully realized cultural and lifestyle destination. What are your
Well,
thoughts?
yeah, a couple things that you have to think about is pre and post Taylor Sheridan and what he's done with that land and what his vision is. And you can obviously see his vision in media, and even that's helped a lot. Like he in one sense is realizing his own dream and all the things that he's writing and producing and creating cultural shifts with the kind of TV that he creates. But then he lives a lifestyle, he grew up a lifestyle, and now he's realizing that, into something bigger and better. And what I mean in the before and after is Bosque Ranch was a I would say kind of a simpler working ranch. It had some facilities on it, but when you step on that property now and just get a little bit of history of what he's done in the last few years, the amount of buildings he's built, the amount of accommodations he's built to bring people onto that ranch, it's made it an amazing destination for people to really experience Western sports, Western lifestyle. But then also there's the whole romance and mystery of the fact that they do so much filming on location. And so all these things that you're seeing on TV, all of this, it's like this little bit of Hollywood kind of in the middle of the country that you're like, this is some really powerful stuff. And so it's really it's a completely new destination hidden sort of in this country lifestyle in a gated community, and it really stands out. So he's done an incredible job. So there is really a pre and a post, and I think that is what is so alluring to and a great story for what a potential landowner can do with a property.
And that I mean, that's where it clicks because this isn't being positioned as a listing, it's being
Yeah,
positioned as a living, breathing extension
right.
of a story people are already feel connected to. Now I wanna bring this into real time because everything we're talking about converges on a very specific moment, the Bosque Ranch live music concert series taking place on the ranch September 12th. From your perspective at land.com, when you see a property like Bosque Ranch host a live music experience of this scale, what does that moment represent in terms of how land is being experienced today?
Well, um, it's so much of it is sort of having to be there. I would say like, okay, I live in Austin, for instance, and we have ACL every year, and that's held at like Austin's biggest park, and you have thousands and thousands of people who know how to get to the public park, and it's a public park that can be there all the time. This is sort of a Willy Wonka moment, right? Where you're getting to go on property behind the gates and you're seeing something that a lot of people don't have access to. And so it's very special. And it comes with all of that kind of romance, but a sense of mystery of like what goes on here. But at the same time, there's Western sport competitions that are happening every weekend. So there is a subset of people that are there frequently and they use it professionally, but for something like Bosque Ranch Live, you're gonna have a great cross section of people who don't participate in that sport, love music. They're going to be in a place that it's rural, and it is such a beautiful facility. So I think I didn't even plan to say the Willy Wonka moment, but it kinda is that because you don't really know what goes on behind the gates. And when you get there, it's so cool. It's such an amazing facility, and the time and attention that he's poured into it's really cool.
Well, I'm gonna be there, and you've gotten me very excited now, and that gives it weight. It's not just an event, it's a proof of concept. It's showing people
Absolutely.
what's possible. I mean, think of it, it's showing people what's possible when land, culture, community, and Hollywood
Yeah.
all come together in one place. Quite fascinating. So let's chat about what people will feel on the ranch. So for anyone listening right now, whether they're in New York, Dallas, LA, Atlanta, or anywhere across the country, paint the picture for us. When someone steps into Bosque Ranch on September 12th, what do you believe they're going to feel that they can't get from a traditional concert or venue?
Well, I think, you can think about a Lollapalooza or an ACL or a Stagecoach, or a Coachella. You're getting to go onto, you're getting to step onto somebody's property, an individual's property who is helping redefine Western culture and then reawaken a lot of Western culture and getting people really inspired. And so they're getting to step on this and they're going to be transported into some place that they're not really expecting. And it's going to have a really, I think, overwhelming sense of belonging into that culture. And a yearning to want more of it. So that's actually why at Land we're pretty excited because we want to get more people excited about owning something like that and building something like he's built.
And right, and Matt, that's the difference, the emotional imprint. I mean, you're not just attending something, you're
Yeah.
stepping into a moment that feels rare, intentional, and cinematic, and stepping into Taylor Sheridan's behind the scenes is quite an exclusivity in and of itself, so you're
Yeah.
100% right.
There's not a lot of people that are opening up their own personal property to host a concert series. And that's extremely special and very kind and open of him to do that because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and the tickets are selling out real quick. So for those of
Yeah.
you listening or watching, you definitely want to head to bosqueranchllive.com. But let's chat about, and I want to wrap this up, but let's chat about the future of land as experience. So looking ahead, do you see this as the future, not just for Bosque Ranch, but for land in general? When, I mean, properties evolve into destinations and platforms like land.com, it becomes the
Ab-
gateway, not just into ownership, right? But to the experience. Talk to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think you got to consider a lot of things happen. I brought up the pandemic earlier. A lot of things happened out of the pandemic. There are businesses being built that are about, prefabricated homes. that ties in with an Airbnb culture where people are so much more entrepreneurial than they used to be. You have you've got uh maybe it's just my algorithm, but it's mini Highland cattle and miniature donkeys and like llamas and all these things that like, oh, I can actually like I can run something myself and like I can manage this. I don't have to own 1,000 acres to run, 100 head of cattle or 1,000 head of cattle. This can be fun, entrepreneurial. I can do something with it. I can bring people onto my property. I can, create these little moments. And so people are not just seeing it as they're seeing it as a potential business opportunity, but there's also something legacy about it as well. I think
Yeah.
you have kids who are struggling to find out how they're going to buy a house. I myself have two daughters who are in their early 20s. They're wondering the same thing. And I'm like, well, I'd love to buy some property and have a generational piece of property where my kids can live on it and we can, you know, pass that down and pass that down. And so there's a lot that factors into it, but it's extremely exciting time
Yeah.
to be in
I
land.
mean I mean, this is truly where properties evolve into destinations, and I think platforms like land.com really become specifically your platform, land.com becomes the gateway not just to ownership, but to the experience. I mean, it's a complete paradigm shift, and honestly, one that feels long overdue.
And to your earlier point, why storytelling is so important and helping people see it.
There you go. For anyone and for everyone listening, if you want to explore more about how land is being redefined across the country, you can visit land.com and do check them out on the gram at land.com. That's land.com. And of course, to stay connected to everything happening at Bosque Ranch, including the highly anticipated Bosque Ranch live music concert series happening September 12th, make sure you're following along and keeping that date circled because this isn't just about land, it's about legacy, lifestyle, and stepping into something that you can actually feel. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. Head to bosqueranchallive.com to buy your tickets right now. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Bosque Ranch Live Concert Series. Country music's roots are deep and diverse, with stories told through raw emotion that bridge tradition and progress. Master storyteller Taylor Sheridan's Music Concert Series at Bosque Ranch offers audiences the chance to experience both the finest country music artists and up-and-coming artists, while celebrating the Western way of life and championing the people and brands that shape the community. Head to bosqueranchllive.com to learn more.